So the Bulldogs had a really fun, significant series win at Stanford this past weekend. And if you're a Bulldog fan of any kind, being Stanford, no matter what sport, is always fun. We had the loudest cheer of the evening against Boise State when they announced that score. All right, and that game three was a little hairy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I had flashbacks to 2019. I was getting there, and I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna blow another series and we shoot it again there? But they didn't. They held on, and I'm glad I don't have to relive that. I mean, can you believe that it's been the first time the Bulldogs baseball team beat Stanford in a series since 1999? Always done a few of that last few years. In 2024, they got a first series win at Cal State Fulton since the 1980s. Last year, they beat the Titans in Fresno for the first time in 20 years in a series, and now they do it again in Palo Alto. And really, they could have easily won all three games. I mean, the Bulldogs really were that much better. The only game one on Friday, Stanford won 6-5. Not for an error. I mean, they missed opportunities. Drew Townsend could have pitched a little bit better. Gave up a home run. I believe at least one. Let me check real quick. No, he allowed two. And he can't do that when we go to the likes of Air Force and Mexico. So yeah, the Bulldogs, they lost game one on a walk-on. Second game, they dominated 15-4. Wasn't even close. I mean, Tyler Patrick didn't pitch great per se, but when you score 15 runs, it doesn't really matter how you pitch. You're gonna win most of the time in baseball. Parker Hines, though, he's been outstanding. The true freshman, he went let me check the stats here for that real quick. He would pitch 4 innings on 44 pitches, allowed 1 walk. I mean, he allowed no hits, no runs. I mean, I'll get to some more freshmen as I wrap this thing up, but outstanding, really outstanding. And again, the game 3 was very similar. The pitching wasn't particularly great. Vic Ariola still struggling to kind of get back to being that starter role. He couldn't last year because he was hurt. I mean, he's got one more series at Arizona before. Excuse me, gotta get a little cat in here. She's a big fan. She likes talking about Bulldog sports. He's still trying to find that role. I would like to see that third spot maybe have a little more competition, but we only have one series left at Arizona before conference play, so maybe it's a little too late for that. And Ariola and Townsend, to a less extent, have experience pitching at Air Force and New Mexico altitude, so maybe we'll just have to hope he gets better in the groove. I mean, I'm certainly confident that, when you're playing Mountain West teams, they're not as talented as a Stanford, Arizona, or whatever, so hopefully if they make mistakes, they can get away with more things in that competition when they get there. But the story of the game in Stanford, besides almost the blown, was how much the freshmen just killed them. Mikey Boyd, Brady Hewitt, Marcus Nolan. I mean, they were just outstanding. Stanford had a late rally, but the deficit was just so big, 11-2. I mean, they had, even then when they got close, I mean, when you score 11-1, 11-2, you should win. And you would have liked to see them keep going. They really could not. They didn't keep scoring after the fourth. And you can't just rest on your laurels there. There were some pitchers, who still, we talk about the brilliance, but also some struggling. I mean, just Brandon Thomas, Will Page Allen. There wasn't anybody who had that really big shutdown inning to just stop Stanford's momentum until B.J. Rodriguez came in the bottom of the ninth with bases loaded. I think Rodriguez is solidifying himself in that save-run role. I haven't seen anyone perform better. And that'd be nice to have that issue settled. Who's going to be your closer? Who will be a setup man? I mean, right now it looks like it's going to be Doug Crystal and B.J. Rodriguez in that 1-2 setup man closing role. But we'll see. As I wrap up the Stanford series, let me just go over a couple more things, stats for you before. Sky Collins, he's playing like an All-American so far. If it ended right now, he would have those numbers. I mean, outstanding after the way he ended his year last year with an injury. 6 for 12, 4 runs, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, 4 walks by batters. Owen Faust, 4 for 11, 8 runs, 3 ribeyes. He's a sophomore. He got some time last year. Boyd really was the guy, freshman, who had it this week and hitting. He had 6 of 13, 5 ribeyes, 3 walks. I mean, that's can't ask way more from a freshman. I mean, I think some guys are really now in a danger of being poorly pipped. They have Cam Schneider, Caden Munster, which is what makes this upcoming game against Sac State really interesting. If there are guys who are healthy, are they going to try and put Schneider back in at some place, or Munster? Are we going to see them some way use them still? I mean, those are good players. I mean, Munster, especially, he's got a really good bat when he's not having that wrist hurt. But at the same, and that's kind of what midweek games are for. Is to experiment with younger pitchers, see if you can get other guys playing time and so forth. I would like to see if Munster. I think he's too big to be in this shortstop type role, second base role, because Jed Ruby's had a little too much errors for my liking so far for a player of his depth. Eddie Saldivar had a similar kind of problem last year, so I don't know if you could really move someone around, and maybe you could take someone who's playing first base and move him there and so forth. Maybe put Munster back at first. I'm not sure. That's up to the coaches. And an interesting tidbit about this North Dakota State game, Coach Jed's son is a pitcher for the Hornets, so is he going to root for his kid's team, or is he going to root for the team to sign his paycheck? I know parents might say, oh, well, I'm going to root for my son no matter what. Well, you also need to pay your bills. I think ideally you'd have him be have a pitch 1 inning, scoreless, and the Bulldogs win. And then after that, they're going to go to Arizona this weekend. They're 3-8 Wildcats, but they were 1-1 away from Omaha last year. Bulldogs have not played the Wildcats very much, which is amazing. That series will start at 5 o'clock this Friday, Fresno time. I think, honestly, if you're a Bulldog fan in Arizona, you've got multiple options this weekend. You can go watch the series in Tucson, or you can watch the basketball team get their butts kicked at Grand Canyon and Phoenix. I personally would pick the baseball one, but we'll find out how they do. Leffler he'll have 2 games Friday, Sunday on the Bulldog game. I'll recap the Grand Canyon game in San Jose at the same time later, and that will be the last 2 games before we have the Vegas tournament. When it's all settled and so forth, I'll make a video about that, recap and what we'll do in Vegas. We're going to play that game 1 for sure on Wednesday, and then we'll see what happens after that. But it's going to be a busy week in Arizona for Bulldog sports. Go Dogs as always.